It's been wonderful hearing from both of you, Janhavi as well as Mariam. And now we graduate to the Q&A session. Can I have the questions, please? Okay, so Janhavi, these are questions for you. And
Okay.
we've got 5 questions and we have 10 minutes, but of course I can take another 5 minutes more. So maybe in 15 minutes, 5 questions, 15 minutes. Okay, so you could time yourself well. Done. So Janhavi, how do you defy conventions of academies? Academics. Because you have, I think, crossed all the borders. So now let's hear it from you.
I think, okay, let me be real honest. I'm not that, kind of girl who is like this really intelligent one in academics, like people who score like 99% marks. I was in 10th standard, but I got 100 out of 100 in maths. So, but no, I really am not some kind of like, if people think I'm some kind of academics kind of girl, then I'm not. So to answer this question, let me be real honest over here. People always judge me on basis of my marks. I mean, they always are going to be like, we appreciate what you're doing, but how much did you score? And, how much was your score? So for me, I think academics is important. I definitely say this. Of course, it's important because, there are some sort of walls which you have to break, and that is that if you want to enter some kind of like a specific college or a particular university, then of course you get to have like a good score, and in like your 10th or your 12th standard, your bachelor's to enter like a good master's degree. So of course you gotta have that great score to enter those particular colleges. Other than that, I think your intelligence shouldn't be defined because of academic stuff. I'm going to share this real experience of my life. So last year, when every one of us, we used to go out and stuff. So I was in this program, and last year when the result of 10th standard came out, so I was addressing students whose results were like 99% or 98%, and it was with 91.9 FM. So I was over there, and there were approximately 500 students, and they have got like great marks, like more than 95% of marks. But once people started to ask them some kind of like social questions, they didn't have any confidence. They were like, oh, okay, fine, can I like sit and stuff? So like, fine that you're really great at academics. It's really appreciable that you have crammed all of your books and you have done really great in it. But if you can't put those thoughts out in the world, it doesn't matter. You're going out in the real world, so it won't matter at all if you can't speak your thoughts out, if you didn't do anything new. So I'm telling this exactly because this is something that happened. Like there were so many students who didn't speak a single word when asking them a question. No one. And they had like 99% marks or 96% marks. And no. And I was I was the kind of student who didn't score that much, and I was like addressing them. So I think it's more important to, have some kind of a good social knowledge when you know what's going around the world, because you definitely got to know it too. I won't say like just always be like, still student, it's fine, get 0 marks. No, I won't say that. You gotta have a little knowledge too, like what's actually going on around the world, because it's important. A little general awareness doesn't hurt anybody. So I always think, my dad always says this, like, whether you're going to give a test or you're not, but you have to have this. So that's it. I really think just, score well if you want to enter a particular college, or like, where you need to have some great marks. Otherwise, just don't think like it's everything, because it's definitely not. Your social knowledge, the way you speak, the confidence you carry, that's what matters.
Yeah, in short, you need to go beyond the 4 walls of the classroom.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now, after hearing you, Janhavi, I feel that there's a lot of intrinsic motivation, a lot of intrinsic motivation. I think you're loaded with that. But we just would like to know if there's any source of external motivation to believe in yourself.
Okay, so first is that like 90% of it's just me. It's just the inner me which just keeps telling me to go, like, Janhavi Panwar, this is what you have to do. Just, this is what you have to do and you have to do it. That's it. Otherwise, other than that, I look up to my dad and my mom. because everyone asks me who is your role model, so I won't say no. I won't say someone is my role model, because there definitely isn't. And people also find it really rude, because role model is someone that inspires you a lot to just keeps going. So for me, I have that inner voice which inspires me a lot to keep going. Other than that, I really appreciate Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, and I of course definitely look up to my dad, who have just who was every time over there with me, and this critic stuff. This was a really nice thing, actually. I even get a TED talk on this. It's on YouTube, and so the TED talk topic was how critics can help you, and it definitely can. So my dad is the biggest critic of my life. I must be speaking on the stage, and I must be thinking going around on cloud nine, wow, I gave a great speech, people gave me a standing ovation. But the moment I go down, and my dad is it was fine, but if you could have added this, if you could have not done this, it could have been a much better. So in conclusion, it was terrible. So I look over to my dad, because he's always over there supporting me, guiding me. And most of the times, whenever he motivates me, doesn't matter how many books I've read, but doesn't matter how many motivational books I've gone through or motivational speeches, but whenever he gives me his examples, it's I can relate with them, and I share it with the world. So I definitely look forward to my dad, and definitely my mom. She is a real role model. She is never stopped me from doing something and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely my family, my little sister. Sometimes I even say people that keep me going, there can be dogs and animals and stuff, having just a dumb thought and stuff.
Okay, now that we've been on the point of criticism, there's a question where your comments would be required. It says that reflecting after hearing criticism always helps in better decision making. So would you agree or would you disagree?
Oh, I would definitely agree. I would definitely. But I'd say that criticism that helps you is when you just don't take it to your heart, that person said, I'm really terrible, and then you just go, I am terrible. No, you're not, okay? The type of criticism you want is, because criticism, whenever people criticize you, it's like somebody is telling you if you're doing it right or if you're doing it wrong. They say I don't think this is correct. Then you have to check out why do people think this is not correct, whatever you are doing. So definitely it does help you a lot. Because of so many critics, I'm here. I mean, people still criticize me, and I still look up to the points oh, this person said I'm not doing it right. So I don't know why I gave the person a chance like this. He had this chance and he said I'm not doing it right. So maybe, so why would someone have the chance? So definitely critics can help you a lot. I definitely agree with the situation. But don't listen to the critics which says you're a bad person, you're a negative person, you're a terrible person, you can't do anything correct, you should go somewhere else, you shouldn't do it, this is not something that is for you. Just don't listen to those. Otherwise, critics are some good sort of people. I really appreciate them.
Wonderful. So Janhavi, you are actually a young blood, just 16 years old, and you've achieved quite a bit at this particular age, and that's been truly because, as you said, that your inner self, your intrinsic motivation is very, very high. But here there's a question from our audience who has to ask you that how should senior citizens keep themselves motivated?
Like I said,
out of the box,
yeah. So okay, so let me tell you this. My dad is I don't know what his age is. He always goes around and just says I'm just only 35 years of age, I'm not that old. But I'm pretty sure he is not, because he always says he's born in 1975, and he just go I'm 30 years of age. No, that definitely can't happen, Dad. And so you're just messing around with me. So my dad is of a really nice age. All of you people must be like that, senior citizens who are 60 years of age. So I recently noticed this comment on my video, and someone has commented, Janhavi, I am 58 years of age and I want to learn a British accent. Can I do that? And I was like, hell yes, you can do this if only you believe in yourself. So he had this, people around you inspires you the most. Okay, fine. It may not be your inner motivation or something like that, but there are people around you from where you can just look up to people. Oh, wow, he's doing this. So maybe we can do this too. So there are people in your environment who motivates you, who inspires you so much that, it does, you never know when something can click in your mind, like, when something can just say, oh, this is nice thing, and you can create like a big thing out of it. So it's just about, what's in your environment. It's just about, people around you, so they can inspire you a lot. And doesn't matter what your age is, if you really have this thing, like, I just wanted to do this. So now you have the time, senior citizen you are, and you don't have to do like your job stuff and all of that stuff anymore. So you can do something that just really makes you happy, and that can happen. And people around you definitely inspires you a lot, I'd say this.
Yeah, and as you've broken all the age barriers, so I think even it holds good even for the senior citizens. Even they can break the age barriers and remain motivated.
For sure they can.
Right. Okay, so here we have another question from the audience. They're asking you that how do I make my boss understand the way of positive criticism?
Haha. Making your boss understand, making teachers understand, making parents understand. Not parents, but teachers and boss, they're kind of like the same, to be honest. And okay, so first things first, why do you want to make like your boss understand that? Because if you are giving some sort of criticism to your boss, maybe he thinks like, the way you are speaking, or the way you are like criticizing him, or the way like, you are telling him like, this is not exactly the way, that he is not liking it. He is your boss, and he has this right to tell you like he doesn't like it, because he is your boss. So it's not something that your boss has to understand. It's something you have to understand, that in what manner you can make him understand. That's not your boss problem. If you're thinking like, my boss is a terrible person, no, every boss is a terrible person. But there are so many people who also says, no, our boss is not, and I see their boss is standing behind them, that's why they're saying it. But but that's definitely it. So it's just that it's something that you have to figure out in what manner, what kind of conversation does your boss actually like. So you have to sit and analyze on that. You can't just go around and say, what kind of way you have to do is you're actually going to have to figure out a way, like what way does your boss likes it, and that's the way you have to do it. That's it.
Super. So I think there are a lot of takeaways today from this session. So it's like there are the takeaways that we have today from Janhavi are, that is, don't kill your curiosity. Then don't let anyone control you. Let your passion drive you.
Yes.
And let happiness be your ultimate motivation of whatever you're going to do. And choose happiness over everything. And of course, overcome all your hurdles and remain intrinsic motivated at each and every time.